Hello there guys, I'm gonna do a sort of live, it's not really gonna be a live video, but it's gonna be almost a live type reaction video to Canon's announcement today. Today is the 9th of July, so Canon were supposed to announce today the R5 and R6 and the upcoming RF lenses. The event has already been finished. I've already seen it, a little bit of it. I haven't watched it all, so now I'm gonna be watching it from the beginning up until the point where they shown the printer, because I don't really care about that. I only care about the cameras and lenses, of course. So I'm gonna be doing a sort of reaction to this, I guess, and I'm gonna give out my opinions and what I thought about the releases. Then in the future I'll be doing another video to talk about further in detail about the cameras and the lenses. So I have here the Canon mug, okay, as you can see. Let's have some hope for this. Let's hope these are some really nice releases. So without any further ado, let's go. Let's begin. It's REIMAGINE and Canon Premiere, and so let's begin. Alright, so they have the timer here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. My god, man. I'm excited. REIMAGINE Canon. Okay. The following footage was filmed adhering to the COVID-19 safety guidelines for the location and time of filming. Okay.
Hello and welcome to this very special Canon launch event, where we'll be giving you a closer look at an exciting range of innovative new products.
Okay.
Now normally, Canon would use shows and events to give everyone the opportunity to get a hands-on experience of new products. But these are, of course, not normal times. So instead, at this digital event, you'll be first to see the imaging products that Canon's developers and engineers have been working tirelessly on. You'll get an insight into the new technologies from Canon product experts, and you'll see the fantastic results photographers and filmmakers can achieve using them. All will be revealed in the next few minutes.
Okay, exciting. Alright. Let's hope for the best. We really need Canon to push it, because Sony is lacking behind. So yeah, same for Nikon and Panasonic. Pretty much everyone is lacking behind. This is why we need better releases. So let's hope for the best. All right, so they're showing some BTS here and stuff. Okay. I mean, I've already seen some of the specs, so I pretty much know already what the camera can do. But oh well. I'm still gonna watch it, because like I said in the beginning, I haven't watched it all, so I only watched it a little bit. I thought it was gonna be later actually, but it was at launch time, so I didn't really get to see that much of it, so yeah. REIMAGINE by Canon.
Tell us how Canon is strengthening this system and where the new products fit in. I'm joined by Richard Shepherd, Senior Manager of Professional Product Marketing at Canon Europe.
The chat is going crazy, by the way.
Thank you, Lucy.
Like it always is.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope that you and your families are all well. I can't tell you how excited I am to be talking to you today. Photographers and filmmakers are always trying to capture something that hasn't been shot before. That's why it's our primary goal when we develop a new product, to enable something that has previously been impossible. Photographers and filmmakers are always trying to capture a system built from the ground up, like the original EOS system, from which to build astonishing cameras.
Yeah, but the R sucks though.
We based it around three core pillars: the large diameter mount, short flange back, and a high-speed communication system between camera and lens. The system's new RF lens mount gives us much greater flexibility in lens.
Yeah, the RF mount is pretty great. That I like. Their lenses are coming out with are very, very awesome.
Astonishing autofocus.
I'm gonna be talking about them in a future video as well, after this one. But yeah, so far the lenses have been really great, really innovative.
We have redefined what a professional mirrorless can be, but of course, the R5 is not the only camera we're launching today.
Yeah,
We've also
the R6 as well.
Exciting camera to share with you, the EOS R6.
Yeah, that one is more exciting for me.
Enthusiast photographers and filmmakers, and inherits much of the same technology from the R5. Since 2018, we've launched 11 lenses with the RF mount, and today we have some unique.
They're coming out with very, very fast with new lenses. That's pretty great.
At Canon,
meanwhile, Nikon still haven't even finished their Holy Trinity.
With our image.canon service,
Canon has already finished theirs.
transfer images and video.
So yeah. Canon is really launching it pretty fast. They're really taking mirrorless into serious territory now. They're not playing around anymore, so that's pretty nice.
Into your usual workflow, saving you a lot of admin time. And finally, we're expanding our image prograph range with the Pro 300. I hope you'll agree these are truly...
These cameras do have some compromises, don't get me wrong. I already know some of the specs. They have some compromises, especially one thing that I really hate about it, but overall they're pretty great cameras. So yeah, they're pretty great from what I've seen the specs, so let's hope the E7S III really delivers. Alright, so now they're going to be showing the specs, so professional mirrorless redefined, okay. Yeah, they're showing some shots, people shooting with the camera and stuff. Up to 20 frames per second mechanical shooting, yeah, that's right. Or should I say electronic shooting, should I say? Deep learning autofocus, yeah, it's gonna have dual pixel AF. ISO up to 51,200, that's kinda low. 45 megapixels of resolution, that is to be expected. It was already rumored. 5940 autofocus points, that's a lot. 120 frames per second uncropped 4K, that's pretty huge. 4K 120 uncropped. That's pretty nice. 8K 12-bit raw video, pretty great. Pretty great. It's weather sealed, the body, of course, it's professionally made. 8 stops of image stabilization, now this is pretty great. 8 stops of image stabilization. That's pretty nice. It's the biggest so far that I've seen. Not even Panasonic has that much stops of stabilization, so that's pretty nice. I've also heard that the stabilization is pretty good, so let's hope for the best. I've heard that the IBIS is really nice, so 8 stops is almost pretty much gimbal status pretty much, so yeah. Let's hope it's pretty great because Sony IBIS sucks.
Lots of innovations in there, and as you just saw, some lucky photographers and filmmakers have already enjoyed putting the camera through its paces. So let's hear what some of them have to say about it.
I'm Ulla Luhmann, I'm an adventure photographer.
I'm Ivan D'Antonio and I'm a filmmaker.
Hi, my name is Robert Mark Lehmann, wildlife photographer and wildlife filmmaker.
My name is Martin Bissig. I'm based in Switzerland. I'm a Canon ambassador and I am an action, outdoor and sports photographer.
The Canon EOS R5 let me reimagine the way I shoot.
Yeah, it's pretty fast. And it has pretty great resolution as well, so it's pretty much a true hybrid camera. It does pretty much everything good, both video and photo, so that's pretty great. The IBIS, like I said, seems to be pretty nice. 8 stops is pretty great.
Everything, which was very hard to achieve.
That's even better than the Panasonic, which has 6 stops, I believe.
Just became very easy.
So that's pretty nice. And the ergonomics as well. The Canon ergonomics are pretty great. I really like the ergonomics of the Canon cameras. Their grip is pretty nice. I have held the EOS R and it's a pretty nice grip. Pretty nice. I don't think it's I mean, it might be even better than the G9, I don't know. But the grip is pretty nice. So the ergonomics are pretty great in the Canon cameras. That I really like about them. The ergonomics. Also the flip-out screen is pretty great as well. The lenses are pretty good.
3 wild horses came out of the woods. They were not so close, and I wanted to switch my lens.
And that 4K 120 though. No camera full frame mirrorless that I know of has 4K 120. I think I think Zcam has one, but that's more a niche camera. That's a modular camera. You're supposed to rig it. So this is the camera that's pretty much already built in. With everything built in on it, so
it really helps me to
offering 4K 120 without crop is pretty great.
For example, when I was checking the action, the jumps the athletes did, the skateboard.
But it's limited though, and that's the thing. I was unsure if I wanted to talk about it, but that's the thing about these cameras. They have recording limits. That's the thing I was talking about. That really doesn't benefit me. Unfortunately, these cameras do have a recording limit, so they're gonna stop there. They have the same old dreaded 29-59 limit, so that pretty much sucks for me. That's why I'm not really as interested as I once was about these cameras, because they don't have unlimited recording like the Panasonics and the new Sonys. So yeah, professional video makers and people who require a lot of recording time for concerts and stuff like me. Yeah, it's kind of depressing, but oh well. I mean, you can use a recorder, yeah, but I don't want to waste money on a recorder and have to keep in mind the battery life and stuff like that. And it makes the setup bigger, so that really sucks that the cameras have do not have unlimited recording, but oh well. You can't have everything, I guess.
I was taking 2 seconds exposures.
But it really sucks though that these cameras don't offer unlimited recording. I mean, come on, Canon, it's 2020. Why you don't offer unlimited recording? Oh well. They're still pretty great, but for me they're not gonna work because I only want the camera with good autofocus, unlimited recording, and good low light. So I'm gonna have to wait for the Sonys, I guess.
Give me the ability to have a shallow depth of field in situations where it is almost impossible with a Super 35 sensor.
I can shoot open.
Yeah, and the price is gonna be the price is $38.99. So I think it's a little bit it's a little bit more expensive than the 5D Mark IV when it launched. But it was kind of expecting. I mean, you have 8K video in here, raw video, 45 megapixels. It can't be cheap. Even more now with the pandemic going on. With the pandemic going on and stuff, they have to increase the prices to make profits. So yeah, but it's still less than $4,000. So it still is cheaper than the Panasonic S1H. But then again, the Panasonic S1H has unlimited recording and the better screen. But this camera has much better autofocus though. So keep that in mind.
The camera really performs.
It has a big advantage in terms of autofocus systems. So even the Sea Eagle is coming from 100 meters away. It locks onto the sea.
Yeah, he's using the 100-500mm lens, which is pretty great, that lens. I'm gonna talk about it later in the video, in the live stream, should I say? Because they're gonna be talking about that lens. That lens is pretty great. I've already seen the specs of it, it's pretty great.
I consider it sort of my second A-cam.
And that's the thing, I mean, the RF lenses that Canon is coming out with are pretty amazing. Like the 15-35 2.8, for example. Nobody has that lens. That's a unique lens. There hasn't been any other 15-35 f2.8 lens with IS in the world. It's the first of its kind, so that's pretty great. The RF mount lenses are pretty nice, so at least there's that. I just wish Canon would finally include on recording, because that's something people have been asking for a lot of time now. Unlimited recording is usually a must, but oh well. But yeah, the R5 and both the R5 and the R6 are shaping up to be pretty great. So unless you really need unlimited recording, these cameras are pretty much the best deal right now.
Those guys sounded pretty impressed, but we're not stopping there. Now it's time to check out our next camera.
Yeah, now it's the R6. Okay, so this is the one I'm most excited about, the R6. Up to 20 frames per second sound shooting, up to 20 frames per second mechanical shooter. Yeah, so it's the same as the R5. It's pretty great for sports and stuff, pretty fast. Up to 4K 60p or Full HD 120. So it does not have the 4K 120 unfortunately, but oh well. It has 10-bit cinema log recording, so that's nice. It also has the same h-stop self-stabilization. It seems to be pretty great actually, from what I'm seeing here. So it looks to be pretty nice. It looks much better than the Sony. It's not as shaky. Yeah, I think this camera is going to be the most successful one. It has 20 megapixels, so it's going to be pretty great in low light. Incredible sensitivity in low light, yeah, let's hope so. Focus in moonlight down to -6.5 EV. Okay, so if they have improved the low light performance much more than the past DSLRs, that's going to be pretty great, because Canon's sensors lack in dynamic range compared to Sony's, so yeah. It also has dual pixel AF, of course. IAF, face tracking, all of that, so it's pretty great. Dual pixel autofocus is pretty nice. So yeah, this camera is pretty great, the R6. It's priced at 24. I think it's 2,500, I believe, dollars. I believe it's the R6. Yeah, it's $24.99, so $2,500.
Truly shines in low light.
So it's a little bit more expensive than the A7 III. But then again, it has better specs, so yeah, it is a better camera than the A7 III, by the way. Much better in my opinion.
R6 can deliver sharp images even in situations where you can barely see a thing. There's more tech that we'll go into shortly, but in a nutshell, if you want to work more quickly, react more spontaneously without compromising image quality, the R6 is the camera for you. What we really want to know is how the R6 performs in the real world, right?
The R6 is pretty great.
Luckily, a few of the Canon ambassadors
For those who don't need 8K, I mean, I don't need 8K, so I only wish it had only been recording. Unfortunately, it doesn't. So, well, man.
Canon EOS R6 has the power to take you on a
But I think this camera is going to be very popular, though. It's going to be very popular, I think.
The sense of total freedom.
I think it's going to be more popular than the R5 because most people don't need that high of a resolution. So, if this camera has better low light, which I think it has because it has a low resolution, it's going to be much better than the R5 for video, even though it does not have 8K. Because the R5 has 8K, but we're still not sure how the video quality is. So.
Being able to work up to speeds of 20 frames per second makes capturing the decisive moment in time easier.
Yeah, this camera is pretty great though. I think this camera is gonna sell. It's gonna sell a lot actually.
Speed is crucial. This camera allows the autofocus on
it's the same price as the Panasonic S1 when it launched, but the S1 has terrible autofocus. So the only advantage of the S1 really that I can see are the screen and the normal recording. Everything else is better on the Canon. So. Except maybe the dynamic range, but then again, it's not going to be that much different, so I don't think it's going to be that important.
Even animal tracking is blazing fast. I didn't miss a single shot.
The camera also has 8 steps of in-body image stabilization.
Yeah, 8 steps of stabilization. That's pretty good. That's pretty great. They're showing it here. It's not really shaky like Sony, so it seems to be pretty great. But then again, most people still use the gimbal because the gimbal still allows you to get some movements which you can't use with handheld, but it's still pretty nice to have that much top stabilization. This is the first for Canon, so
20 frames per second. That's pretty impressive.
How much time has Sony had the IBIS by now, by this point? And their IBIS sucks, so yeah. Canon just introduced IBIS and it's already better than Sony, so let that sink in. That's how bad Sony's IBIS is.
It's light and silent.
You don't even hear it. All you see is in your viewfinder.
It's about the same size as the EOS R, so yeah. If it's anything like the EOS R, it's gonna be pretty great in ergonomics. Like I said in the beginning, the EOS R is pretty great. The grip, it fits my hands pretty nice, so it's pretty great ergonomically, and that's really important because you can have the best camera in the world, but if it doesn't fit your hands correctly or you don't have. It doesn't have that good of ergonomics. What is the point there? I mean, I prefer a camera which fits my hands better than a smaller camera, which doesn't really fit my hands that great.
Now you have image stabilization in the lens and you have image stabilization in the camera.
Yeah, dual IS, so that's pretty great.
You don't need 2 cameras anymore.
And I think I'm having some lag here. I'm having some lag.
Right away.
I think I'm having some lag.
It's important to feel confident working in.
Yeah, I'm having some lag. Sorry guys, I'm having some lag here. Oh well, I'm having some lag issues here. Come on.
Well, the camera
there we go.
That will end up with couple of thousands of photos. A number of
yeah, the R6 doesn't have a top-down LCD screen, but that's not really necessary. I mean, really, you don't need a top-down LCD screen for a video camera because that eats up more battery. The R6 has better battery than the EOS R5 actually, because it doesn't have the top LCD screen. Top LCD screens deplete the battery much more. That's why the Nikon suck, the Nikon Z67, because of the top-down LCD screen. Also, speaking of battery life, I can already tell the battery life as well. The battery life on these cameras, it's better than the EOS R, but it's not better than the Sony's, unfortunately. So yeah, I think the R6 is rated at 510 shots, I believe, with the viewfinder. No, with the LCD, with the viewfinder it's 380, I believe. So it's not really that amazing, but it's still better than the EOS R. So, but I can expect it more. I mean, the Sonys can shoot up to 700 or so. Oh well.
A bit about how they do it. To help with that, I'm joined by Mike Burnhill, one of Canon Europe's professional image product specialists, who have spent quite a bit of time with both the R5 and the R6.
But yeah, these cameras are pretty great though. I mean,
thank you, Lucy.
So Mike, we've
They're
seen
pretty
the
great.
R5 and R6. They share a similar set of
Not that bad, I mean.
and next level.
The battery life, like I said, is not really that amazing, but you can get a battery grip or another battery, I mean.
The R5 is really about high resolution. It's
And even though the CP ratings show it at those ratings, I just now realized that the camera stopped recording. Oh man. See, this is why I want unlimited recording, because I hate having to keep noticing the timing on the screen, if it's gonna stop or not. This is why I want cameras with unlimited recording, so I can have the camera filming forever until I need to stop. This is why I want unlimited recording. I just realized that the camera had stopped. Sorry about that. Oh well.
By nature, the lens system is very good at one type of stabilization, and then body slightly better at a different type. What we've done is partner those two systems. Each system prioritizes the type of vibration that it's better.
How much time till the printer? Let's see. Okay, 20 minutes. So it's still gonna be about 20 more minutes of talking. It's still gonna be about 20 more minutes, so I can wait, I guess.
So you don't have to always, make sure you've got all the equipment. If the moment happens, you can be ready to kind of adjust to it.
So this is essentially going to make
Wish for R5 had 1080p, 240 frames per second, 720p, 480. Yeah, but if it had 240 frames per second, it might have been soft, kind of like the Panasonic. The Panasonic GH5S has 240 frames per second at full HD, but it's kind of soft, so.
With the tripod strapped to your back.
So, but you can still get this beautiful blared waterfall.
No, I don't. One thing I don't understand about the pricing is that the bundle they have with the 24 to 105, you actually don't get a discount with the lens. So that's kind of weird. Why haven't they discounted the lens in the bundle? They always do that. Why haven't they discounted it? That I didn't get.
Two key parts of these two cameras, the AF. It's the new dual pixel 2 AF system, which now gives like 100% frame. So it's
yeah, they're talking about the autofocus system. Actually, about the autofocus system, they are going to be releasing. They are going to be announcing in this live stream as well the 600 and 800 f11 lenses, and those lenses are compatible with the teleconverters. So they're going to be called f22. But if they are compatible, I'm pretty sure the cameras will be able to autofocus at f22. So that means that the autofocus system of these cameras are pretty advanced. If they can autofocus at f22, that's amazing. Autofocusing at f22, yeah, that's pretty impressive, man. That's pretty impressive. Having in mind that most cameras can even autofocus at past f8, so yeah, that's pretty great.
8K RAW kind of grabs a headline. One of the big questions.
Yeah, and the R6 doesn't have RAW, by the way. Unfortunately, I don't know if it has externally, but internally it does not have RAW like the R5. So that's kind of bad, I think. I mean, I think the R6 should have been the better video spec model, because it has a low resolution, so it can do better low light and better video quality because of the lower resolution. But they're making the R5 the better one for video. That's kind of weird in my opinion. I think the R6 should have been the better one for video, but oh well. Then again, they might release another one in the future targeted for video, like the Sony A7S II successor. I don't know, because the R5 is being targeted at the hybrid shooters. Same for the R6, but the R6 is basically a budget R5. So yeah, then they have the RP, which is supposed to be the entry-level model. So they might release a video-centric model in the future. That's even better than the R5 for video, I don't know. And probably has another recording, that would be nice. Because they also released the RA, which was targeted for astrophotography, so nothing stopping them releasing a video-centric camera, so I don't know. They might release like an R5S or something like that has even better video specs, I don't know. We never know. They're not playing around anymore, Canon. So they have been working on 8K for a lot of time now, actually. This is not something new. People might think it's something new, but no. Canon has been working on 8K for a lot of time now. So that's why they're offering it. They're one of the first to offer 8K, so they have been working on this for a lot of time now.
20 frames per second with the electronic shutter. So why would users need to switch to the mechanical shutter?
The electronic shutters are a fantastic piece of technology. You know, that you can shoot super high speed.
Yeah, they're talking about the mechanical shutters now.
Some areas where they kind of struggle.
The electronic shutter, I don't know if it's supposed to. I think it's supposed to be not as reliable as the mechanical, but it doesn't degrade the shutter mechanism though. So yeah, that's one of the advantages of mirrorless is the fact that you can use the electronic shutter. I don't really need to use the mechanical shutter though. So mechanical shutter degrades the shutter equations in the camera, so the electronic one doesn't.
Thinking about photographers' workflows, you've also heard today that image.canon.
Also, I don't know. I also don't know if the sensor is the same as the 1DX Mark III on the R6. It is the same megapixel count, 20 megapixels, but it might be a different sensor. I don't know. It might be a different sensor because I believe the 1DX Mark III has 14 stops of, or should I say, has 14 frames per second shooting in mechanical shutter, while this one has 12. So it might be a different sensor. I don't know. Or it might be the same, I don't know. If it's the same sensor as the 1DX Mark III.
We've really looked at customers and we've listened to them, and basically everyone knows how easy it is to share images.
But yeah, I really hope the dynamic range has been improved on these cameras. Most people here are talking about the dynamic range improvements. Yeah, they have said that they are targeting better dynamic range. So, like I said in the beginning, Canon sensors are not as great as Sony in terms of dynamic range at low light. So, if they improve the dynamic range a lot, that's going to be nice.
Of course, to realise a camera's full image quality, you need a high quality lens.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
now they're going to be talking about the lenses, so
some of the finest to choose from
these are really excited.
The entire Canon catalogue. And today, Canon is adding 4 exciting lenses and 2 lens extenders to the RF range. First up, wildlife and sports photographers are going to find the RF 100 to 500mm f4 to 7.1L IS USM, a versatile addition to their collections. With its relatively small size, this new zoom is a practical choice for handheld shooting. It's built for shooting in tough conditions too, as it has dust and water seals and a heat shield coating to ensure durability. Now, this is something that both wildlife photographer Robert Mark Lehman and action sports photographer Richard Walsh needed in their shoots. So let's see this game-changing new lens in action.
Yeah, first is the RF 100 to 500. So this is supposed to be the successor to the 100 400. So it has 100 extra millimeters. So that's pretty nice. 100 to 500 is a really nice zoom range.
Robert Mark Lehman, and I'm a wildlife photographer and wildlife filmmaker.
It extends, of course, but oh well. I wish it was internal zooming, but unfortunately it extends. So yeah. Now, one thing good about this lens that I've seen is that it is 5.6 at 400mm, so it's pretty much the same as the 100 to 400, only with 100 extra millimeters. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Most people were thinking that it was gonna be 5.6 earlier because of the 500mm, but it actually is 5.6 at 400mm. So it's pretty much like I said, a 100 to 400. Both in the zoom range and the aperture stop, and it has 100 extra millimeters, so that's where the 7.1 comes in. It is 7.1 but at 500mm, but it still is 5.6 at 400, so that's pretty great. I really like that they managed to keep it 5.6 at 400, so that's pretty nice.
So it gives you a little bit of extra range. What's interesting to know, when you put it at 400, it's 5.6.
Yeah, it's 5.6 at 400mm, that's pretty nice. It's the same as the 100 to 400. So that's pretty nice. Let's hope it has the same good magnification and reproduction ratio, because 100 to 400 are known to have pretty good macro capabilities. So let's hope they have improved it in this one even more. So yeah, pretty nice lens. It's pretty expensive at almost 3,000. I think it's 26,000. I think it's $2,600 or something like that. It's pretty expensive, but then again, it's an L lens, so it's supposed to be a professional lens. So it was to be expected. It's going to be pricey, but it's a professional lens and it seems to be pretty great. It's also lighter than the 100 400, so that's pretty nice.
The RF 85mm f2 IS MACRO STM combines a fast aperture and 5-stop hybrid image stabilizer for a beautiful blend of sharpness and background blur. Now this increases to 8 stops when paired with an EOS R5 or R6. Now, it's not just portrait shots this lens is good for. It doubles up as a capable macro lens as well, as it can magnify objects up to half life size for incredibly detailed close-ups. Canon Ambassador...
Pretty exciting lens right here. The 85 f2, this one is so exciting.
And macro skills.
This lens is pretty exciting. It's an 85 millimeters with f2, so that's pretty great for blowing out the background and low light. And it has 1:2 magnification ratio, so it's gonna be pretty great for macro and close-ups. That's pretty nice. I don't know of any other lens like this. I don't know of any other 85 1:2 macro lens, so, or semi-macro, shall I say. This is the first of its kind, and that's what I was saying at the beginning of the video. The RF lenses are pretty exciting. They're pretty innovative. They're coming out with designs that nobody else has, so that's pretty nice. This lens, I think, is going to be a pretty great seller. It's priced at $599, I believe, so it's about $600. Pretty nice. It's a pretty nice lens, though. I think this one is going to be pretty popular. It's pretty great for portraits, as it is an 85mm, which is pretty popular focal length for portraits. It's also f2, so that's pretty great for low light and blurring out the background. And it has 1:2 magnification ratio, so it's gonna be pretty nice also for the close-ups and the macro shots, so that's pretty nice.
When you see the background compared to the really sharp focus on the eyes,
it's also not really that heavy. It's I think it's 500 grams or something like that, so that's not really that heavy. When you have in mind it's an f2 85mm, so that's not really that heavy. It also has the 1:2 magnification, so that's pretty nice. Pretty exciting lens, actually. I think it's the most exciting lens out of them all. I don't know. Pretty nice though.
85 2.0 has a macro function, and it has been amazing to look at the farm through different eyes. I've been taking pictures of the skin, the wool of
it has the 1:2 magnification. That's pretty nice. I really love macros, so
it's such an amazing structure.
Having a lens like this will be so awesome for a person like me, because I can do portraits, I can do close-ups, and semi-macro shots when I need. That's pretty nice. And it's f2, so that's pretty nice. You know, it's not 1.8. It would have been better if it was 1.8, but it's probably f2 because of the macro. If it was 1.8, I don't think they could have done the 1:2 magnification, so that's probably why it's f2 because of the 1:2 magnification. So yeah, it's not a true macro. Some people were thinking it's gonna be 1:1. I don't know why some people were thinking that this lens was gonna be a true macro. It is the same as the 35 f1.8, which is also 1:2 magnification. They're gonna release a 51:2 in the future as well.
Awesome.
So yeah,
how impressive
they will be releasing a 100mm f2.8, I think, a true macro lens. That's gonna come soon. This one is just a 1:2 magnification, so not a true macro.
Further, today Canon is also announcing the arrival of two super telephoto RF.
Oh yeah, no, these ones,
RF 600mm f11 IS STM,
the 600 800 f11. These ones are so awesome.
And they feature a radical optical.
They're very small. I've already seen them. Now they do extend. Okay, they extend. You have to extend the lenses to start shooting, but they're very much smaller than the 5.6 lenses, especially the 800, and they're very cheap. The 800mm is less than $1,000. Okay, less than $1,000 for an 800mm. That's amazing. If you go check the price of the 800mm f5.6, it's over $10,000 for the 800 f5.6, and this one is less than 1,000. It's $900 something dollars. So that's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. This is so good of Canon. Finally, we have telephoto lenses which are less than $1,000.
Very good question.
Affordable for the masses. That's pretty nice. And they're very small, like I said, especially the 600. The 600 is 930 grams, I believe, and the 800 is 1300 grams or so. So they're very small, very small. When you have in mind that the 800 5.6 is over 4 kilograms, yeah, this new 800 is is more than 3 kilograms lighter than the 800-5.6. So that's a massive weight savings. And also the price, like I said, it's less than $1,000. So that's pretty nice. I really love Canon for doing this. Finally we have someone offering super telephotos at affordable prices. That's pretty awesome. These ones are going to be pretty popular, I think. Yeah, they're f11, but who cares? These lenses are supposed to be used outside anyway, so it's not really a problem that they're f11. Micro Four Thirds lenses that start at 5.6, for example, the equivalent is an f11, so people use those lenses in Micro Four Thirds. So what the fuck? What is the problem? There's no problem. It depends on the shooter. The person behind the camera is the most important. That's the most important, not the aperture stuff.
But what sports and wildlife photographers generally want is nice subject separation from the background. But when you have a full frame system...
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, f11 is not going to allow you to have that much background blur, but then again, at 600 and 800 millimeters, you're going to have a lot of compression, so the backgrounds are still going to be blurry. So...
No, and that's because previous focusing systems wouldn't be able to cope with narrow apertures.
Yeah, like they're saying here, the autofocus is going to be able to autofocus at f11, so that's why they're making it f11, because the autofocus can handle it. So why make a bigger lens if you can make a smaller lens while still capitalizing on the autofocus? I mean, come on.
F11, F16.
I still think that the 600 should have been f8, but still, I mean, there's not much difference between the two, really. I think the 800 is going to be much more popular than the 600, but the 600, like I said, should have been f8, I think, because f11 and 600, I mean, you already have an 800, why is the 600 also f11? I mean, but then again, it is to make it smaller, I guess, but I still think the 800 is going to be much more successful, so...
up past what wasn't previously possible.
But like I was saying, they extend, so to make them smaller, Canon had to make them extended, so you can retract the lens, and then when you start shooting, you extend the lens, and there's a small barrel near the mount, so it can attract some dust and stuff. People will complain about that. Oh, it's gonna attract dust and stuff. But if they had to make it like that to make it more portable and fit in the bag, so...
It's very silent technology, so you don't hear the focusing motor, and it's very...
I think these lenses are going to be pretty popular, actually, for amateurs and people who want to do some, like, wildlife, entry-level wildlife photos, or sometimes want to take photos of birds in flight, for example. It's going to be pretty popular for that. Yes, it's f11, but these cameras seem to be pretty better in terms of low light dynamic range, so yeah. And like I was saying, these lenses are supposed to be used outside anyway. You're not going to use these lenses inside or in low light anyway, so these lenses are supposed to be used outside. And many people have already taken photos at f11 without a problem, and they look good. Like I was saying, Micro Four Thirds, the equivalent Micro Four Thirds lenses are the 5.6 super telephotos. And I've seen photo samples of those lenses, and they're pretty great. So yeah, this is full frame, and it's RF lenses, so the RF lenses are pretty great. So I'm expecting pretty good results from this. They're gonna be, I think they're gonna be really hot sellers, actually, especially the 800, less than $1,000 for an 800 millimeters. That's a first of its kind. There's no other lens like this. The closest lenses to these ones are the mirror lenses, but those ones are not really that great. The mirror lenses, those ones are really bad. They're not supposed to be truly professional type lenses. These ones are much better than those, so yeah. Really happy for Canon for delivering these types of lenses to the masses. I hope more people realize this asking for the cheaper super telephotos and release more lenses like this, like Tamron, for example, or Sigma. Just imagine a third-party 800mm that costed like $500, for example. That will sell like hotcakes, really. There's a lot of people that want more zoom. They like to take photos in the zoo and birds and stuff. Sometimes I wish I had a bigger zoom. Sometimes I want to take photos of faraway subjects, but I can't because of the kit lens. Only going to 85 equivalent. So
you want pictures of.
Yeah, I think these lenses are going to be pretty popular.
So with this new lens, it's half.
And they're very small and light, so.
Focusing to.
And they're cheap. That's the best of all. They're cheap, so. Yeah.
That gives much more.
They do extend, but I don't have that much of a problem with these ones because I think they also had to make them extended because if they did make them extended, they would have to be much more bigger. So I don't have that much of a problem with that. I mean, they're not zooms, they're primes, so it will depend. And the camera stopped again. Yep. The Nikon does not have on recording, unfortunately, so yeah. Now they're going to be talking about the printer. I don't really care about the printer, like I said in the beginning, so yeah. I only cared about the cameras and the lenses, so yeah, that was pretty much the live stream. So overall, the cameras seem to be pretty great for both photography and video. Now, like I said, they do have a recording limit, unfortunately. They have the old dreaded 29-59 recording limit, so they're not really that exciting for me because of that. But everything else from them seems to be pretty great. I hope they really deliver because, like I said in the beginning, the market is shrinking and camera manufacturers really need to improvise and release really good products. So I think these cameras are going to be pretty successful, especially the R6. The prices are a little bit probably more expensive than I was expecting them to be. But then again, they are much better than Sony equivalents. So the R6, for example, is much better than the Sony a7 III in my opinion. And so is the R5 compared to the a7 R4. But now we're going to have to wait for the Sony a7S II successor to see how that camera is. I don't know, it might be better than the R5, I'm not really sure. One thing is for sure though, I think it's going to have one recording that, I'm pretty sure, so that alone is going to be better in it, but everything else, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Then for the lenses are pretty exciting. They are still they still have a lot of patents already that they have released, Canon. They're also going to be releasing in the future a 50 f1.8 with 1:2 magnification. They're also going to be releasing a true macro lens with 1:1 reproduction. So they still have a lot of lenses to release, but the ones that they announced today are pretty great. The 100 to 500 is pretty awesome. It's basically a 100 to 400 with extra 100 millimeters at the long edge, so that's pretty great. I hope it's just as good as the 100 to 400 EF at close-ups and macro. Then they have the 85 f2 1:2 magnification ratio lens. That one is pretty great as well. That is perhaps the most exciting of all of them. Having an 85 millimeters with 1:2 magnification is pretty nice. And it also f2, so that's pretty great for low light and blurring out the background. And then of course you also have the 600 and the 800 f11, which is a godsend for many people. Many people can't afford those super expensive and large 800 millimeters f5.6 and the 600 f4s and 5.6. So these lenses are pretty great. Like I said, I really hope more companies release lenses like this because we really need more cheap, affordable options for the telephotos because all telephotos seem to be pretty ridiculous in terms of prices and size. So yeah, the 800 is going to be pretty hot seller, I think. The 600, I'm not really that excited about that one. Like I said, I think it should have been f8. It's f11, so it's not really that exciting. But the 800mm f11 is pretty exciting. Yes, they do extend, but then again, they are very compact and small, so you can't have everything. So yeah, they're pretty exciting. Finally, we have some really affordable super telephotos for the mirrorless systems. That's pretty nice. And yeah, overall, I think Canon is really taking mirrorless seriously right now. I think they're seeing the market shrinking and the target market really emphasizing on wanting these features like 4K 60 and stuff like that. So they're delivering them finally. They are not really crippling their cameras now. Really, the only crippling thing I can see about these cameras is limited recording. That is the only cripple I see of these cameras. Unfortunately, they have the 29-59 limit, but oh well, you can't have everything, I guess. If they had a limited recording, I think this would have been the best release ever in terms of cameras, but unfortunately, they have the limited recording, so We're gonna have to wait for the Sony's, the A7 IV, the A7S II successor. Nikon is also expected to announce Nikon Z6S and Z7S. I'm also going to be talking about that in a future video. Now those ones, I don't know if they will have on recording, because the Nikon Z6 and Z7 do not have on recording, so I don't see the S models having on recording, but they are expected to have 4K 60, so I don't know. If they have on recording, they're going to have a winner there, but if they don't, then I'm not really going to care. But overall, yeah, it was a pretty nice release. So I really hope Canon delivers with these cameras and the lenses. It's shaping up to be a pretty great system so far, the RF system. So we're gonna have to wait and see what Sony has in store for us. They're gonna be announcing at the end of July, I think, the A7S II successor. So we're gonna have to wait on for that. And so yeah, that was pretty much my reaction to the REIMAGINE Canon events of the R5 and the R6 and the new RF lenses. I will be making a follow-up video to this one, talking more in depth about the cameras and the lenses, and I'm going to be going over the specifications. I've already seen some video reviews as well and stuff like that. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Okay, sorry for dragging out a little bit, but this was a reaction type of video, so I had to make it a little bit longer. Also sorry for some of the cuts here and there, because the camera unfortunately stops at 20 minutes, so yeah, I can't do anything about that. And yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. Be sure to hit the subscribe channel if you like my work and want to support me. I will be coming out with more videos related to cameras in the future as well. I think I'm actually going to do another one following this one for the Nikons, like I said. I think I'm going to be doing the Nikon video right off the bat now, after I stop filming this one. So yeah, and then the Sony one, I think I'm gonna be doing also another one for the Sony, because I also need to talk about the new Telsu 24-2.8 Sony lens. So yeah, thank you guys for watching once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. UNHOLY-OMEGA signing out. And yeah, props to Canon R5 and R6, pretty great so far.